Navigating conversations and timing, speak 3 parts, keep 7 for yourself. Ancient wisdom teaches us that when engaging in conversation, it's crucial to gauge the situation, and when working, to recognize the right moment. The saying goes, share 3 parts of your thoughts but retain 7 for yourself. As Laozi's Tao Te Ching suggests, skillful actions leave no trace, and wise words carry no blame. This means that if you master the art of conversation, you can avoid misunderstandings. Effective communication hinges on observation and active listening. Your words should be grounded in wisdom, aiming primarily to resolve issues. The phrase light and elegant refers to a harmonious blend of literary talent and practical qualities, highlighting the gracefulness of someone with a gentle demeanor and refined conduct. This concept originates from the Analects, where it states that true nobility balances sincerity with eloquence. Being too blunt can come off as crass in everyday interactions and professional settings. Some believe that honesty and straightforwardness are sufficient for effective communication, but they often overlook the importance of tailoring their approach based on the individual and context. While speaking candidly might seem like a mark of sincerity, it can sometimes lead to misunderstandings. There's an old saying that excessive honesty can be a bit harsh, reminding us that kindness doesn't always equate to being brutally honest. So, let's remember, the key to meaningful dialogue lies in balance and adaptability. The story of a good deed is illustrated by the tale of a respected official from the Northern Song dynasty, known for his exceptional governance. However, he struggled to connect with colleagues who held differing opinions and personalities, largely due to his blunt communication style. A notable incident involved his interactions with Ding Wei, the deputy minister, as recorded in the historical text Zizhi Tongjian by Sima Guan. During a court banquet, the esteemed official accidentally got soup on his beard. Kind-hearted Ding Wei stood up to help clean it off, but the official misinterpreted this gesture as an attempt to embarrass him in front of other officials. He sarcastically remarked that Ding, being a high-ranking minister, shouldn't be reduced to wiping his superior's face. This comment deeply offended Ding, who then harbored resentment towards the official. Ding allied himself with Wang Xianluo, who had long envied the official, along with other ministers who had previously faced ridicule from him. Over time, even the emperor began to view the official as socially inept, leading to a decline in his political career. The official faced numerous setbacks until he fell gravely ill and passed away in Luozhou. While the official's remarks may have seemed lighthearted at first glance, they were actually overly sarcastic. As a subordinate, Ding naturally felt humiliated. The tragedy of the official's downfall stemmed from his inability to navigate the nuances of communication. Honesty is indeed a virtue everyone should possess, and while a gentleman should treat others sincerely and generously, there's an art to speaking that must not be overlooked. It doesn't mean you should speak bluntly without any strategy, as long as you achieve your initial goal. Indirect communication often gains wider acceptance because it shows empathy towards the other person's feelings and conveys meaning beyond words in a gentle manner. A classic example of this is the story of Yu Qian, an artist from the Qin dynasty, who skillfully used subtle humor to communicate profound truths. Once, during a grand banquet hosted by Emperor Qin Shi Huang, heavy rain poured down, leaving the performers inside the palace enjoying the festivities while the guards outside braved the storm. Yu Qian felt sympathy for the drenched guards and cleverly engaged them in conversation. When asked if they wanted to take a break, the guards eagerly replied that they certainly did. Yu Qian then instructed the artists that if he called for them later, they needed to respond quickly. Moments later, he turned to the balcony and loudly summoned the guards. They all answered in unison. Yu Qian remarked, "Though you are tall, what good does it do if you can only stand out in the rain? I may be small, but I am fortunate enough to rest here." At that moment, Emperor Qin Shi Huang realized his oversight and understood that Yu Qian was using self-deprecating humor to gently criticize him. Consequently, the emperor ordered that the guards be allowed to come inside. The scholar proposed cutting the time for changes in half, suggesting a new year for the expansion of the imperial garden. Emperor Qin Shi Huang planned to extend the garden eastward to Hangua Pass and westward to Yongchen, transforming thousands of acres of farmland into pastures. Many elderly officials, upon hearing this news, submitted letters of protest, directly criticizing the plan as a waste of resources that should not be pursued. The emperor was displeased and angrily declared, "This empire belongs to me. If I wish to create an imperial garden, who dares to oppose me? Bring them forth, I'll have them executed." Hearing this, the clever official Yu Chuan seized the opportunity to approach the emperor, who was excited about the expansion. "I hear your majesty wants to enlarge the imperial garden," he said. The emperor, pleased with himself, replied affirmatively. Yu Chuan continued, "Expanding the garden could allow us to raise more birds and beasts. If enemies attack from the east, we could use the deer to fend them off." The emperor chuckled at this suggestion but soon realized that, for the sake of national security, it might be wise to avoid excessive material pursuits. Thus, the expansion plan was ultimately shelved. This outcome illustrates the effectiveness of subtle persuasion. Everyone has their pride and believes their decisions are correct, often resisting direct challenges that undermine their dignity. Sometimes, people overlook the context and manner of communication. Even with good intentions, advising others can backfire, leading to resentment or even defiance. The attitude of "I will do what I want, regardless of your objections" can prevail. In truth, everyone possesses the ability for self-reflection and restraint. When we communicate, it's essential to reflect on our words, actions, and judgments. Therefore, when advising others, we should not only present logical arguments but also consider the perspective of the person we're trying to guide. The goal is to help them understand and align with our viewpoint without being overly blunt, which can hurt both them and ourselves. Instead of taking a direct approach that might cause discomfort, we can navigate conversations more thoughtfully. By focusing on common ground in communication, we can overcome barriers and achieve clarity in our discussions. It's not just about boldly pointing out issues, it's about expressing ideas in a way that resonates deeply and encourages reflection. True sincerity and eloquence shine through in our speech, making us graceful and composed communicators. We should aim to share our thoughts wisely, offering 3 parts of insight while reserving 7 for contemplation. While our words may be limited, their significance can be profound. The art of communication lies in conveying underlying meanings without stating them outright. This requires wisdom. We can highlight someone's mistakes while still preserving their dignity, even inspiring them emotionally. Speaking with intention isn't about being cunning or insincere, it reflects a level of maturity. Before we engage in conversation, it's crucial to recognize our relationship with the other person. If our connection is still developing, pushing for intimacy may come off as insensitive. Discussing personal matters too soon can feel intrusive, so it's important to tread lightly and gauge the appropriateness of our dialogue. Understanding the perspective of others is crucial, especially when discussing sensitive topics. As you mentioned, speaking out of turn can lead to misunderstandings. It's wise to choose your words carefully and know when to hold back. By expressing only a fraction of your thoughts, you leave yourself with an exit strategy, allowing for better control over any situation that may arise. Now, let me share a story about a soldier who received a modest monthly allowance. Despite his limited income, he consistently saved a portion to send back home to his impoverished parents. Later, he married a beautiful and refined woman, the daughter of a high-ranking military officer. Their wedding attracted significant attention, and while their life together was filled with happiness, people often wondered how a wealthy young lady could be with a man from such humble beginnings. This disparity sometimes led to her spoiled behavior, which was difficult for him to manage. Even after marriage, he continued to save his allowance to support his family, but he chose not to tell his wife. He feared she wouldn't understand his deep sense of duty and might misinterpret his intentions. So, he discreetly sent money home, fully aware of its importance to his parents, even if it risked causing tension in their relationship. One day, his younger brother wrote asking for a loan to fund his own wedding. Without hesitation, the soldier took out several $100s to help, demonstrating his unwavering commitment to his family, despite the challenges he faced at home. He was all set to send the envelope, but that day he accidentally left it in his back pocket. With a busy schedule, he completely forgot about it. Later, while doing laundry, his wife didn't check the pockets and soaked the pants. When she was about to hang them up, she discovered the envelope inside. In a hurry, she took it out and noticed it was still intact. After reading the letter, she pieced everything together. That evening, when her husband came home, she apologized right away, saying, "I'm sorry. I forgot to check your pockets while washing your clothes." She mentioned that the letter got wet and, worried it wouldn't dry properly, she opened it. However, she didn't bring up the money he intended to send, which made her feel a bit awkward. After some thought, he decided to explain the situation to her, expecting it might lead to an argument. But surprisingly, she responded calmly, suggesting, "Sending cash isn't safe, it could get lost. Next time, let's just transfer the money to your parents. If you're not comfortable with that, you can give it to me, and I'll handle it." From that moment on, their family life remained peaceful and happier than ever. It's common for us to point out someone's mistakes directly, thinking it will help them improve. We often say things like, "Hey, you messed up here, you need to see this or that." You might expect gratitude, but the reaction can be quite the opposite. People tend to resist admitting their faults, and they rarely express appreciation. This is a widespread issue. Most of us struggle with accepting criticism, especially when it's delivered bluntly. It can create discomfort and defensiveness in almost anyone. The incredible power of omission can lead people to resist accepting criticism, even when they know exactly what others think of them. On the flip side, for educators, leaving space for self-reflection and contemplation is crucial. There's a story about a principal at a talent development school who once evaluated a female student. She had forgotten to include punctuation in her essay, resulting in a deduction of points. After the test was returned, the student secretly added the missing punctuation and approached the teacher to request extra points. Although the principal recognized the issue, he still honored the student's request for additional credit. However, he circled the punctuation mark in red ink, signaling his message. The student felt deeply embarrassed, but, years later, she returned to thank him. She shared that this experience motivated her to study diligently and commit to honesty. The principal's silence wasn't devoid of principles or compassion, rather, it exemplified a perfect blend of educational skill and genuine care. In essence, it served as both a reminder of the truth and a warning, this time, yes, but don't expect it again. This approach not only allowed for correction but also encouraged the student to gain a deeper understanding of integrity. For most people, the ability to reflect is a quality worth cultivating, and in certain professions, it's tied to ethical standards and even job safety, like how a doctor must never compromise on their responsibilities. Revealing any details about a patient's medical condition to outsiders is a breach of professional ethics for doctors and those in confidentiality roles. Conversations can range from personal matters to everyday challenges or even topics like geography and folklore, but they should always steer clear of sensitive information. While these discussions may be entertaining and enjoyable for listeners, they lack substance and are unlikely to cause unnecessary trouble. Communication is an art form that can either enhance or jeopardize one's future. The words we speak leave a lingering impression on the listener, allowing them to savor the experience. This approach not only alleviates the tension that excessive talking can create but also hones the listener's ability to discern sounds and encourages self-reflection. So, why not embrace this practice? In essence, effective communication requires us to assess the situation and timing carefully. It's crucial to listen and observe our surroundings to adjust our behavior and speech accordingly. Mastering the art of conversation isn't just about saying the right things, it's also about knowing how to express them appropriately based on context and audience. Being overly blunt can lead to hurt feelings and unintended consequences, while a more nuanced approach can achieve goals more gracefully. Moreover, when engaging with others, it's wise to share only a portion of your thoughts, keeping some back for contemplation and self-questioning. This balance reflects true wisdom and insight. Throughout our interactions, we not only enhance our intellect but also cultivate respect and trust from others. Communication is an art that requires skillful confidence and deep understanding. Mastering this art not only helps us foster better relationships but also opens up new opportunities in both our professional and personal lives. As we wrap up this discussion, I sincerely thank each of you for taking the time to listen. Once again, I wish you and your families endless happiness, success, and peace in life. With warm regards, I look forward to seeing you again soon.